welcome to Fans of the Forge. We're here with Joe Smith from Season 3, Episode 9, Pandat.
Yeah.
Whatever they say it.
It's Pandat. Yeah.
Alright, look at that. So, you guys went to a junkyard.
Yeah.
What did you think when he rolled you into a junkyard?
Well, they wouldn't tell us where we were going. So we loaded up and we go on and we walk out of the van and we're standing there. And what's funny is I'm in New York where they're shooting the show. I step out of the van, I hear gunfire. And I'm going, I'm in New York, there's gunfire. Oklahoma kid ain't doing too well. It's like, all right. I'm like, okay, what is going on? They go, oh yeah, where we shoot the episodes that they do the shooting a bullet at the sword and whatnot.
Oh.
That's where they do them. And I turn around and look. I'm like, okay, well, they take us in. We're all sitting there waiting. And I'm sitting there and I look at Pete. Pete was the other finalist and said, I got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah.
Pete's going, what do you mean? I said, look around. As soon as I said that, the production assistant's like, shut up! You can't talk about this. It's like, okay. But we're having a good time and everything. But I'm thinking to myself going, man, I don't know how they brought all of the equipment that we're going to use to a junkyard. And it's like, all right, we're here. We're ready to go. So we're just waiting on Will to come get us at that point.
Yeah. So, they have you guys salvage steel. Okay. Fair enough in some respects.
Yeah.
And then you guys have to use a coal forge. Mm-hmm. Were you comfortable with that?
That day was the first day I ever fired a coal forge.
Okay.
I used to not use one. It wasn't something I had a point of reference to work off of. So they pull that off there. I'm thinking, oh hell, this is gonna be a long day. And then they give us 4 hours to do this. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was a long day.
And you went for a leaf spring. Mm-hmm. Kind of typical, right? That's something guys use all the time, so it's not too bad. But they may know that you were working some of your metal cold.
Okay, one of the things that doesn't show up when you're outside, steel holds heat for a lot longer. And if you pay, well, they really didn't show it a whole lot, but if you pay close attention, you'll see me pull my knife off and put it behind the anvil where I've got some shade. That steel holds heat a lot longer than what you can see.
Right.
And unless you're right up on it, yeah, it looks, oh, it's cold. No, trust me, it wasn't cold. It's just something, when you're sitting 30 feet away from somebody, you can't see the tight heats there.
Maybe something they just kind of threw in there.
Yeah.
Just
a
little drama. Like he doesn't know what he's doing. He's working some cold steel.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So they made note that you had a stout blade, but there's a good feel to it. So moving on, round 2, you have to incorporate one piece of junk visibly into the handle. What's going through your brain at that point?
I was thinking, okay, the easiest thing I can do here is a bolster, some sort of bolster that's just simple. Mm-hmm. Well, my initial thought was, okay, I'm going to use this piece of chrome because it looks cool. And I'm like, all right, well, my handle was kind of wide because I made a real competition knife, one that we would use in blade sports. So I was like, all right, we got this. Well, the handle's so wide, I couldn't hardly find any material to work with it. So I was like, all right, well, I got a bumper. So I just cut off pieces of the polyester bumper, glued it together, and that was my bolster. And I used acrylic. It was acrylic block with warthog tusk in it. And so I've worked with that stuff before, so I know exactly what's going on.
Right.
The greatest part about it was the smell. The smell of burnt warthog tusk is nasty. And Doug is over there going, and Dave's over going, what in the hell are you working with? They're screaming at me while they're doing this. I'm like, it's warthog tooth. And they're all going, that is the nastiest thing I think I've ever smelled. And it's just hilarious watching because you'll catch the judges off guard. And of course they don't show that, but you catch them off guard and they're like, they're real people. You know?
So, Coconut Chop did a great job with that. You move on round 3, Pandat. You guys got hit with a bad storm.
Yeah.
What was that like when that thing rolls through?
Well, we're sitting there, and we were at my shop, which is at my father's house, and I'm talking to him. He goes, hey, watch this storm. We may have a bad one coming in. Well, the production crew's there and everything, and I hear it start raining. I'm like, okay, so we're out there watching the rain, just seeing what's going on. Then the garden shed goes away. And I slam the door, and I've got a 1400 degree heat treating oven that I've used with Ray Kirk's. And I'm standing there, the power goes out. Well, one of the camera guys is standing there, and I'm screaming at him, don't move, because he's about that far from the heat treating oven that's on.
Oh.
And well, what had happened was a tree limb, about 6-8 inches diameter, fell out, got blown out and broke the power line off at the ground. And so we ran a generator and everything and went back to it. But day one, I have the shortest amount of work time ever for Forge and Fire. For day one, I had an hour.
Wow. And I know, I've heard, they say you guys can't bring in outside stuff once you start. I'm like, yeah, I mean, you're dead in the water. Like, of course you had to bring.
Well, fortunately, the production crew, they paid for the generator.
Yeah.
Because they were like, can you find somewhere to work? I called the guys that I knew, and nobody had a place for me to work. And so it was like, they're like, all right, we'll just go rent a generator. We'll pay for the generator. Yeah. So fortunately, the guys were great. The production crew was really cool. They were like, all right, we'll get this. So we went and got it, hooked it up. Problem was is I had to feed the generator, and it was diesel. So when it would run out of fuel, you're over there grinding, all of a sudden, and everything in shop quits. Right. It's like, okay, I didn't get to take the time off. They wouldn't stop the timer while I'm having to reprime the generator. So there's a few days that get a little tight, but it was a lot of fun though.
So during the heat treat, you got a kind of a war. Were you able to kind of work that out?
I worked it out as best I could. Yeah. L6 is what I made it out of. L6 doesn't like to be rebent, basically. And it took just a little bit of work, but not anything bad enough to grind out. My biggest problem was just a few things didn't get put together quite the way I liked to.
Right. All right, so you guys go back for testing, rope cut, you'll cut. Said there's a lot of forward weight in your blade. Then kill test the deer carcass chop. Made it through that. Kill that deer, no problem. So then it's the sugar cane strength test, and took a bend in the ricasso.
Well, actually, what happened was we tested this sword at home. My dad's been a hunting guide for years, so we actually got a pig. We went and shot a Russian boar, brought it to the house, and I've got slow motion video. And I don't have it on my phone anymore, but it's on our YouTube channel and stuff. And I cut the head off of this pig. The body never moved; it just twitched, and it was hide, bone, everything. Yeah. And everybody, the camera crew's going, "Oh, that was gnarly," but the sword was great. And what happened was there wasn't actually a bend in the ricasso. When I sent it in, my guard was 5 degrees off. Okay. Because whenever I put everything together, I was off. Like I said, it didn't quite fit up exactly, but I was running out of time. So I hammered everything together, and when I got done, I looked at it and went, oh crap, there's nothing I can do about that. So I sent it in, and during the episode, I told them, I said, I sent it in, and that was like that. And so they're like, okay, they went back to the video, and they're like, yes, that was the way it showed up. It didn't take a bend, it didn't take a set. Unfortunately, that doesn't go on the episode, but it was something that once we all got everything established, the forward weight, actually, the Pandat is only used to behead people. That is the only use it has. So there's no reason to need a recovery.
Right.
All you're doing is going over and chopping people's heads off. And it works amazingly well. I will say that. It kind of freaked me out when I hit that pig with it and it slipped through that pig's neck like that. I'm like going, it kind of gave me a cold chill because I'm like going, whoa, that's weird. But it did perform really well. But, Pete did balance his more like a katana, which Doug's more used to, those balanced blades like that. But I had a great time with it. It was a lot of fun.
Awesome. And
they all want to go back.
you were on Knife for Death. Mm-hmm. You say the very first episode?
Episode 1, yep.
Awesome. And so everyone seems to get stopped by the fish. What are your thoughts on that?
The fish is something that if you don't know how to cut it, I'm from Oklahoma. We don't have big fish like that to cut up. And apparently you're supposed to hit them in the spine, not the belly.
Right.
And I didn't know that. Plus, when we're running through our goggles that they've got us in, they are fogging up like mad. And so I got through the chicken real easy. I mean, it was just a flick of the wrist and went through it. I get to the fish, I can't even see the fish. I see an outline. And I'm like, well, I really don't have a choice here. So I just swung away. But it was a lot of fun. Of course, that was the part that held me up. But I had the fastest time through the course. And so that got me to the final. Yep. And fortunately, the final was just a blast. It was awesome. An absolute blast. And there's a blade from the show.
Ooh, check that out.
Now, given it's been cut down 2 inches to make it BladeSport legal,
okay,
but that is the knife that was on the show. I figured you guys might actually like to see that.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we have some generic kind of rapid fire questions here. Favorite non-blade item to make?
Sheaths.
Okay. Stainless or no stainless?
All of the above. I mean, it's something that I use everything from Damasteel to 52-100, anything like that.
Okay.
So it's something that anything.
Coal or gas?
Gas.
Yes. Do you have a favorite Damascus pattern?
Not really.
Okay. And preferred knife style to make?
Work knives.
Okay. I'm going to say that's it.
Cool.
So, thanks for your time.
Oh, absolutely.
Check out our other videos. Last day here at the Grudge match. See you next time.